Today's video is on substitution. Substitution means to be replaced by something. When a variable in a formula is replaced by a number, we say that the number has been substituted into the formula. It might help to think about basketball. So you've got your subs sitting on the bench, and when your coach decides that somebody needs a rest, you make a sub. So somebody comes off and sits on the bench, and whoever was on the bench jumps back on court to replace them. Evaluate each expression below by substituting a equals 4, b equals 3, and c equals 5. So instead of having the letters, the pronumerals in our expression, we're going to substitute these values in. So instead of having 2 times a, we'll now have 2 times our value for a, which is 4, plus our value for b, which is 3. Then we can simplify. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 will give us 11. Over here we have another example, substituting our values in for c, which is 5. Subtract our value for b, which is 3. Using BODMAS, we have to work inside the bracket first. 7 out the front of a bracket that says 5 minus 3 is 2. So now that means 7 times 2, which is 14. Down here, when we substitute our values in, so the 3 replaces the b, the 5 replaces the c, and all of that will be divided by 2. So 3 plus 5 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. Down here we have a, b, c. So remember that that means a times b times c. So when we put our values in, we'll have 4 times 3 times 5, all divided by 10. So 4 times 3 is 12, times 5 is 60, divided by 10. We're going to simplify by 10 goes into 10 once and into 66 times. So our solution to that one is 6. Over here, I'll just write in a different colour so we don't get confused. 4c squared minus 3a squared. So what we have here is 4 times our value for c squared. So we have 4 times 5 squared, take away 3 times our value for a squared, which is 4 squared. So now using BODMAS, we have to do our squareds first. So our next line of working looks like 4 times 25 minus 3 times 16. 4 times 25 is 100. 3 times 16 is 48. So our solution to that one is 52. Okay, here we have a table where we can practice some substitutions. For each of these rows, we have a different value of x. So for our first row, we will be substituting in the value of x equals 2. So we can see that we have done in the first column, our rule is x plus 6. So substituting in 2, 2 plus 6 equals 8. Our second column says 5 times x. So 5 times our value for 2 is 10. 13 minus x. 13 minus 2 is 11. 6x plus 7. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 7 is 19. I'll do a little bit of working down the bottom for our next ones. So we have 3 at the front of a bracket that says x minus 1. So when we substitute our value for x in, we'll have 3, 2 minus 1. So inside that bracket, we now have 3 and just a 1. So that means 3 times everything in the bracket, so 3 times 1. So we can pop our 3 in up here now. Our next column says x plus 4 divided by 2. So when we substitute our value for x in, we'll have 2 plus 4 divided by 2, which will give us 2 plus 4 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. So we've got another 3 in here. Next one along, 4x minus 5. Substituting in our value for x as 2, we'll have 4 times 2 is 8, minus 5 is 3. Next one along, x divided by 2 plus 8. 2 divided by 2 is 1, plus 8 will give us a value of 9. A 120 divided by x, so 120 divided by 2 will give us 60. And 2x squared. We'll do a little bit more working down here for that one, because that equation saying 2 times our value for x squared. So 2 times 2 squared, 2 times 4. So our solution to that one is 8, and we'll pop that in up here. Okay, I'm going to fill in the rest of the table, so if you want to pause the video and have a go yourself, and then come back and check your answers when you're finished. Okay, so hopefully if you check through your answers, you have a table that looks like this one. So this is a really good table to keep in your notes so that you can check that you're remembering how to do all of your substitution properly. Okay, and the key ideas from today's video. To evaluate an expression, we substitute each pronumeral or letter with a number and then work out the value. It's important to follow the correct order of operations when evaluating an expression. What we mean by order of operations is to use BODMAS. And finally, when substituting into a term that is a product of a number and one or more numerals, so we have a number being multiplied by a letter, it may be easier to show the multiplication sign as a reminder of what exactly we're doing. So you can see in this example here, 5AB means 5 times A times B, and sometimes putting in those multiplication signs will help you remember what's happening in that expression.